In the city of Los Angeles right now, we have somewhere between 70 and 100,000 people. We don't know for sure how many people are homeless. Right now, we have to get people inside, because if we continue to allow the homeless population to grow, continue to allow people on the streets to die, to have mental illness unchecked, to have addictions unchecked, business will implode. The neighborhoods will implode, public safety will go away, and our city will be crying out for help if we're not already.
I mean, this is
Those are campers. Those are not
suburban camps.
This is a reality, guys.
All those people are living out of their campers.
They don't have a house.
Some have kids that go to school.
They cannot have a house, so they
can't
have to
afford
live
it.
there. They have to live in these things. I mean, look at this.
Next opportunity to talk to people, not to.
Now, about 60% of people we meet on the street put their hand up straight away and say, hell yes, I'm ready to do anything. I want to get off the street. There's another 20% or 25% of people who go, you know what, I actually don't need your help. If the encampments are going away, I'll get off the street myself. And they'll do what's called self-resolve. They have family, they have friends, they have a job. They can actually break the cycle of homelessness themselves. Now, that misnomer that there's people on the street who don't want to come inside, it's true. There's probably about 10 to 15% of those people. And they're the people who have been out there a long time. They're the chronically homeless, bigger amounts of mental health issues, bigger amounts of addiction issues, and it's going to be very expensive and very hard for us to get them in. The first step, where we are in the city of Los Angeles right now, is getting that 60 to 70% of people who want to get off the street straight away. So this site here is LA's first tiny home village. We absolutely go out into a catchment zone, which is somewhat about 3.5 miles. Now, the reason that's so important is if you're going to have a homeless shelter in your community, you should see people coming off the street in your community. You should see your neighborhood clean up. Likewise, in Los Angeles, there is such resistance to homeless shelters. Every time we open one of these sites, we get the death threats and we get all of these sorts of things. So it pushes a little bit of that back by being able to say, you know what, this is going to benefit your community, and there's not going to be people coming from other parts of the city. It's not going to create a magnet for the homeless coming to your neighborhood. And the very first thing that's going to happen is we're going to go pick you up in our van, we're going to bring you in, and you're going to go through security. We're going to lay everything that you own out here, and we're going to go through it to make sure there's no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. So as soon as you've gone through that, you're going to come in and you're going to experience our tiny homes. So come straight through here, and we'll kind of show you what it's like to join our tiny home community. So the very first thing you're going to do is come over to our hot showers here, and you're going to have the longest, hottest shower that you've ever had. You're going to get a clean pair of underwear, because that just makes you feel human again. Okay, so you've got the shower on the left, the toilet on the right, and each and every one of our guests, the very first thing that they're going to do is they're going to get a hot shower, clean clothes, clean underwear, just so they can feel human. Now, once you've had a hot shower, the next bit of magic that we believe in is eating way too much food. But you're going to sit over here and you're going to eat until you are completely full and you basically feel alive again. We have laundry facilities here. We're going to throw all your clothes in the laundry facility, and then you're going to sit down with the real people who make magic. Now, our case managers are the best people in the world because we believe people are pretty awesome. In fact, humans are incredible. They'll overcome about 90% of everything in their lives, but sometimes there's a big blockage, whether it's mental health, an addiction issue, trauma from past violence, or maybe just a series of incredibly dumb choices. So they're going to sit with a case manager. They're going to work out what is it that's made the person homeless and keeping them there. And then at that moment, they're going to build a case plan for however long it takes. So now you've got a case plan, we're going to bring you into our tiny home village. We actually don't have any empty units at the moment, but we'll sneak down and see if we can find somebody who wants to show them. That one. Each of these units is housing either 1 or 2 people. depending on whether you're an individual or a couple. Now, one of the best things about this site is how each and every person personalizes the unit for themselves. People making a home because there's some pride in ownership here.
Can I film you? Yeah? Okay, thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Nice. You keep a nice place. You keep it so neat.
Yeah. Please.
What do you keep? So you have like your closet here?
Yeah, it's my little wardrobe that
Yeah.
just very simple.
Ah, very simple.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is enough space?
You know what? It is, but maybe just a little. I mean, I don't know. Me, like personally, I would, a shower.
Your own shower.
Yeah, my own shower.
Yeah.
That's
Well, it seems like you keep things neat, so you maybe like your own.
real like particular, and certain things. I'm real like tidy and picky.
Exactly. No, it seems like you have this place organized.
Yeah, I mean, I'm organized. So that's just my my person.
Yeah. How long were you without housing before you moved here?
You know what? It's a little weird one. Like
Yeah.
for 2014, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So you were 7 years on the street? No.
About. I mean, if
Really?
you really.
Did you have a tent?
You know what? At the very end, I got a tent.
Yeah.
It's cool. It feels good.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't feel hot. It's so there is some good insulation probably.
Yeah, there is.
And also the other thing is that there is some space. You don't have the feeling it's cramped. It's very high.
Right.
And when you want a table, you use the tables outside, or you.
I'll use here.
Yeah.
And do you wash your own bedding, or do people come? Do they switch it out for you?
We wash. We're.
You do your own wash.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not hotel service here.
No. I'd be embarrassed. Wow.
Yeah. It's really your own house.
Yeah.
For finding this place, how long were you on the streets? Or were you on the streets or just not have a house?
Oh, I didn't have a place, so I went through a divorce and then I became homeless. I met a friend and she had some tents up here by Chandler. And then I signed up for here and here I am. Don't want to leave, but I gotta leave.
You don't.
Well, it's nice. It's nice here. You have to get used to a curfew.
Okay.
But I've been in prison many times, where I had to have a curfew. And I had to go inside myself. So I wasn't used to it, but I had to get used to it again.
What do you do when you have to get inside? You read, you watch.
You can come out, you can come back out, but you can't go out of the facility.
Okay.
But you could, if you had something to do, you just sign out and let them know. And then you come back, by 6 in the morning, you have to come back and
They
check
just
back
want
in.
you
Yeah, sign in
or
and sign out, be here for count, and your meals or whatever. Yeah.
What time is the curfew?
The curfew is from 10 p.m. to 6 in the morning. Hi, baby.
So sweet.
Yeah. My other dog was stolen from me.
Where does he sleep? Right here?
He sleeps right here in his bed. I have it up here because I was going to sweep him off the floor. This is my bed. And then I have, less stuff. I'm going to wash some stuff right now.
This is your
Some
laundry?
blankets. Yeah, my laundry. I'm going to do it right now. I'm doing it right now. Yeah.
It's easy. Just
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's another thing. You get to wash your stuff. You don't have to be worried about what you're going to wear the next day and stuff. Yeah.
Because when
So-
you were in the tent, did you have a shower?
No, we used to have to go to churches and stuff to take a shower. Yeah.
And was that kind of difficult?
Yeah, it was kind of difficult because you had to know what church is and what time, to be there. Yeah. So it was kind of rough.
And for meals?
For meals, they would feed you at the church
At the
also.
church,
Yeah.
You had to, and now you have some food in here, no?
Yes, I have plenty of food and coffee. They supply the air conditioning there already. It goes real cold.
Yeah.
And then the heater, we got a heater that's here built in already. So that's pretty good.
That is
when
pretty
you come, to a place like this and you have a cooler and a heater, that is really good. That's 100% good.
Yeah.
And then my son got me a TV. Yeah. I mean, I'm satisfied with this. People have to, if they want to be, if they're homeless, a lot of people don't want to come to places like this.
No?
No. The homeless people,
Why?
Why do you think?
they say because the check in and check out, and they're not used to, people, telling them what to do and what not to do.
I think that's not freedom.
Yeah, they figure it's not part of freedom. I don't know. I learned to accept it. You know, I had to accept it. This is their play area. You put them in there and you unchain them, and they can just play with the other dogs or yeah.
That's really a full community.
Yeah, it's like a little community. And a lot of people, they don't want to separate from their pets. So it's good. Meet right here on these benches right here.
Okay.
Yeah, they serve the food right there by the office. You don't always have your next meal, you know, when you're homeless, you know. And when I came here, I was just like, you know, because I have everything here, you know. And they get, you know, I always tell them, I don't want to go nowhere, I don't care.
But that's not an option.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
want you on your feet and they want you to get ready to go. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
fabulous.
You have a pillow that says one day at a time.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good message?
It's a message for me. And it helps.
Yeah.
I wake up to that every day. One day at a
Yeah.
time.
yeah.
Yeah. When I was using drugs, you know, they know. People know. And the facility knows. Just your reactions or whatever. And then when I told them that I was ready to get clean and I was working on it, they can tell. They can tell. And I can tell that they accept me and they were happy to hear that. And they know when. And they started talking to me. They always talk to me, but it was more conversation, more, you know, hi, how you doing? And glad to see you're going the right way. Yeah, stuff like that. So it's good to hear
When
that.
was that? Was that while you're here or before?
No, it was when I was here.
When you're here?
Yeah.
Was this a place that felt like you finally could say,
Exactly. It was because I could look forward to a place of my own. Yeah, and that's good. Because it's hard to get a place these days. It's hard. And pay that rent? Oh,
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by.
yeah,
I really appreciate that. Whenever you guys want to stop by. Yeah.
great. Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll have your own little house the next time.
I know, huh? Yep. Hopefully. Yeah.
So it used to be that 85% of our, just less than 4 years ago, 85% of our houseless people were from this city. We also had no clear idea of how many people were homeless, but it was considered to be between 3,000 and 6,000, depending on who you were talking to. But since the acceleration of the economic disparity, people have been coming from the interior of the country where it's oftentimes way too hot or way too cold for people to be able to survive. And more people have been just thrown out of their housing. So there's thousands more people, millions more people on the West Coast who I would say who are homeless than ever before. It doesn't have to be like people see most of the time, where people are just stumbling around with filth all around them and strung out on drugs. One of the things that is a virtue of our city is that we have these DIY models where people can actually be stable on a piece of land and work with other people. We have all these permutations on the idea of people being able to self-organize and kind of not just organize a shelter, but actually organize to make decisions together and to keep each other safe, to keep each other secure, to make sure everybody's fed and everybody has access to health.
So Dignity Village was unprecedented.
It's the first of what it is, but it's informed by, you know, all kinds of initiative. So there's this essential template, and the basic self-governing guidelines are always the same. The conditions for being there, like, you know, no violence, no drugs, no theft, no continuous disruption, things like that. Basic agreements. And you can, as we approach Dignity, you can see that there are a lot of people out here who are kind of close to the village. and probably get some services from the village. But what we're seeing right now is the result of the inaction of the current mayor, because we now have a model that would serve all of these people. And the difference between Dignity Village and what we just saw in the street is just simply the desire to do anything. Yeah, we can park in there, I think. About 5 years ago, the mayor that we had then just declared, as of winter, in like 4 months, all of the women will be off the street. And he accomplished that. And then he said all of the veterans will be off the street next, and he accomplished that. That was just kind of beautiful and sickening too. Like, wow, so this is how easy it is just to decide to do something. Of course, they have to declare a state of emergency so that they can waive building and planning codes temporarily. But there's all these buildings out there that are just sitting there, or vacant spaces, and all people really need is a space to lay down a bedroll and a place to go to the bathroom and get water. Hi, I'm Mark. I called you earlier.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were here for Lisa. Here, give me just a minute.
Okay.
So each unit is quite different. So the idea is that there's lots of experimentation.
Yeah. This one happens to be the gatehouse, but there are 5 other straw clay structures here in the village, and most everything's made out of recycled materials. And here is the president of the village. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I just got back from a river rafting trip with most of the village, so I've never been rafting before in my life, and I lived on the Road River for years.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to kind of run back home because my shoes are, well, I lost one up on the trip. So let me go home, grab a pair of shoes so I can casually walk with you.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'm going to be tiptoeing.
So you need a place for security, so this is their gatehouse. You need an administrative office where people can organize and store things, make decisions, and lately to have computers. You need commercial spaces, and so these buildings here receive donations, they process them, they put them on eBay to sell them. So if there are donations, if they have more donations than they actually need for themselves, then they can use it as a resource to, pay bills or something. So as you move around the village, you see gathering places everywhere. This building, it's the great common house of the community, so it's big enough for a large amount of the village to be able to be together, to stay warm in the wintertime and also to make decisions together. There's, facility for showering, there's a facility for cooking, everybody has places to live.
Yeah, we have people that don't ever want to move out.
Yeah.
We are, to our knowledge, the only city-sanctioned, self-supporting, self-governing homeless community in North America. But $75 a month per person, how can anybody go wrong with that? You have a roof over your head, you have a door you can lock, you're safe, your family, your pets can all be with you, and we become a family.
We're in Canada.
You pay all of our own bills. The only thing that is granted to us is the land that we're on. And it was the leaf composting site. So how much does that really cost in the other general population? And that's what I love. And the fact that we don't have a mortgage.
We tried a lot of different solutions, and in fact, Dignity had a nomadic phase of more than a year, moving from site to site, very strategically, sometimes arriving on sites to set up their village, their ephemeral nomadic village, in a way where they chose the site to be polarizing. They wanted to bring the city council to the conversation. And they were upsetting so many wealthy people whose neighborhoods they were going into that the city council finally had to assent and say, okay, fine, we'll talk, we'll find you a site. The village is 2 acres, just below 2 acres.
How many people?
65.
We can have up to 60. We tend to run about 52 to 55.
How long have you been here?
11 years.
Wow. And so you live on site?
Yes.
Yeah. And where were you living before?
I was out on the streets for 2 years with my husband who lives with me here. He's the man of my dreams. He went through schizophrenia. He finally got here, got on meds, got off meds, got on meds. He's now been off meds for 7 years and he's got it under control. And it's because of being safe here. But it works.
Is everyone welcome?
As long as you're over the age of 18 and homeless. We'll put you on our wait list and eventually you'll get in here.
Long wait list?
But probably 4, maybe 5 on the wait list right now.
Okay. And how long do people usually stay?
Probably 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
And some of those cases, like it took a couple years for Scott to get better, with his head. So it takes a while for some of that to happen and then for us to heal.
So, some of these tiny homes, when you look around, you see an incredible diversity of ways that people actually create shelter. Some of them have solar panels, some of them have water catchment. Everyone's kind of collecting stuff around them and doing their projects. Obviously, this person is passionate about bikes. This person has some sort of equipment that they might be using in some sort of job. A lot of these people, maybe most of the people here at the village, actually do work for a living, but in the American reality, they can't quite make enough to pay for living in a conventional circumstance. So this helps people, not to fall through the cracks of the society. I think some people are saying, well, these are homeless people. What are you talking about? They're broken. And homeless people are the first ones to admit that they have challenges, but they also, everyone thrives when they have responsibility. This place has had for long periods of time the lowest crime rate per capita in the city and the highest rate of community participation. But part of what makes it happen is this kind of model where Dignity Village will take trees that are cut down in the urban environment, instead of having them just thrown into the dump or mulched. Instead, Dignity cuts up these trees and then seasons them to then sell them to Portlanders to then meet their fuel needs. So here are people that have all kinds of skills and talents, and they can certainly contribute to meeting their own need. One of the advantages of this place, which I think hasn't been thought about enough and can't be overstated, is that these people are able to be here without the burden of a mortgage. So they're able to start at a different baseline than other people in order to create a better life for themselves. So this model is almost like what you might call a void in the matrix, because it just really plays by different rules while working with really almost no budget at all.
There for several years, we had the lowest crime rate in this neighborhood. With 33rd, what we call 33rd estates out there with all the RVs, I don't think we're still at the lowest crime rate anymore, but if we didn't count them, we would be.
Yeah.
Because we take care of our own. If there's a thief here, if there's somebody who's violent, they get kicked out, and we make that choice. We as a village, so it helps.
Yeah.
We take care of our own, we police our own, and the old phrase, you don't in your own backyard, well, we try to make sure of that.
I transplanted myself here from Florida about 3 weeks ago. I didn't find out until after I got here. I mean, I thought I did my preparing, for about a year and a half I planned, mentally prepared for this. And I did whatever I could to plan, and I saved, but there's so many catch-22s with the way they run the system. It's like they don't want people moving here unless you have a ton of connections and money. They say you need an ID and proof of work to get a job, but some jobs won't. Well, not with a Florida, they all want a California ID and they all want a proof of work. So, but some jobs won't hire you unless you have California ID. So it's I kept hitting brick walls everywhere.
It's about 10 years ago. At that time in LA, there was a law you could not sleep in your car, your vehicle. So we had to drop it, and about 4.5 years ago, the law was changed, and we started up again. We have churches. We have 2 synagogues or 3 synagogues. We have city lots, county lots.
The idea is there's a lot of vacant lots in the city.
But let me look.
Is that the basic idea?
Oh, there are. Well, it's not necessarily vacant. You use like this. During the day it's used, and at night they let us use it.
This is the first location we've opened. So the rector, she's the first person that, along with her congregation,
They came to us wanting to be the first safe parking lot in Los Angeles.
and they are. People living in their vehicles are one step above the people living on the streets. But it's not comfortable. It is not something you want to do for the rest of your life. Yeah. Oh, here. Okay. The objective is to provide 12 hours of safe sleep for someone so they can face the next day and eventually, hopefully within a couple of months, find some living quarters.
I did not know until after I got here that they banned people from sleeping in their vehicles here. And then I kept looking and searching, and I'm like, okay, there's the green lines of okay zones, but then they didn't renew those.
Well,
so I'm like, where can I go now? And then I found this place.
There were green streets.
Yeah.
And there still are, but they made them fewer.
Yeah, like I looked on the website at first, and the green zones, they didn't renew them. Like June was when they cut it off, and that was right when I got here. Like it was July 7th.
Green zone being
like the roads that are safe.
They
That
paint
were
the
supposed to be safe.
the curbs green, and they're allowed to park there at night.
Yeah, but like she said, they're shrinking. But the map I was looking at, they said that they didn't renew them, and so I was like looking online.
How did you find safe parking?
Yeah, I found the safe parking website.
And we give each person a placard to hang on their rear view mirror that has a number on it.
Yeah, we each get one of these
These
once we're
numbers.
official.
So that means you can keep. Have you been back a few times?
Oh, I've been here a solid almost 2 weeks now.
Same spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I came here, I was invited to this particular lot, and I've been coming back here. Yeah.
So where are you during the day?
I mean, I usually go to Valencia. So, I mean, I drive there and go to the library because it's like there's free parking and it's safe and it's quiet and it's, it's easy to get around up there. So that's where I do to work and where I look to find work. So I don't have a bed.
Okay.
I mean, I just have like a couple pillows in the back, but I don't have like a whole lot, but I move all this stuff out of the way so I can like sleep on the pillows at night. Yeah, this is most of the stuff I came here from Florida with.
And then so you just put it off to the side.
Yeah.
Sleep back there. Is it comfortable enough?
It's comfortable enough. I have these side windows here. Okay. They open up to a screen. I can get air in when I close this at night, so I'm nice and secure. So.
And so did you expect to come and sleep in your car when you came?
I mentally prepared for it if I had to. I was kind of hoping. I didn't know that it was going to be so many like regulations and catch-22s put in place. Like need California ID, need proof of work, need vehicle plates, or like need registration. Vehicle registration, need smog test, and it was like so many of these little things, and it's like I didn't find that out until after I got here, and it's like I was looking all the sublets, and they were all asking California ID, proof of work, and it's like. And yet you can't, some jobs you can't get without California ID, so it's like, how am I supposed to do that?
This is the basketball team, right?
Oh yeah, but that's part of the local
Sharing it.
not interfering with the neighborhood. In fact, we're in it. We're part of the neighborhood. People in general will think that it's something that I don't want it in my neighborhood. So what we don't want to do is have people say, not in my backyard.
Well, most of my writing stuff is right in my old briefcase here. I got my computer, I got my notebook, I have my journal. The community that comes through here, they all come from like different walks of life, and they're all really, really nice people. Just in a point in their life where they're just kind of down on their luck, but we're all just trying to survive a temporary point in our lives. We're just trying to get through this, and all we have left is our cars. So, I mean, This is giving us an opportunity to sleep at night and not worry about needing to duck cops or evade parking tickets or try and sneak into some place to sleep and not get caught, you know. We have peace of mind here while we're trying to just get our lives back on track. Just my, some of them stories based on the experiences. So went to the Arleta DMV, completed getting my California plates for my truck. I am so damn close to being a full resident. I just need the driver's ID. I attempted to pass the written test, but failed 3 times, so I applied again. It must be noted from my anxiety that the entirety of the time I spent that it felt that some onlooker in a black sedan was staring at my efforts with the front plate. Perhaps they thought I was some ruffian in a polo, ripping off some poor soul's plates. Mind your own business. I could hear them in my head, begging the question, don't you have a driveway and the expensive home to do that? Shut up! I'm a hobo at the end of the world, a camping tourist. I'm still one of your despite appearances. Now I just need that license. Then I can get work for Postmates till I hear back from USC for that union steward position. Napoleon Hill, don't fail me now. So.
More expensive than a house.
Not cheap.
Yeah. See, it's as easy as that.
This thing is big. Wow, that's big. What is that?
Do you think there's a place for these sort of like informal housing and maybe settlements?
American favela is what you're asking for. Yeah. Right. So I noticed this in Maui in Hawaii. The smallest shack on Maui in Hawaii is $800,000. And yet there's cleaning ladies and gardeners and the hotel. Where do they live, right? Like how do they make those numbers work? And then you discover, well, there's in every town, in every county, there's a landfill, there's a power plant, there's a sewage treatment plant, and it's rich people. You don't like living there. So the ordinary homes, you just pack a lot of people into them. So they're technically single-family homes, but they actually are de facto multifamily homes. Every room is a bedroom. You put bunk beds in. The garage is a studio apartment. That's the de facto. That's sub rosa. It's the ad hoc. But if the authorities really cracked down on them, there'd be a problem because then all those businesses couldn't function without them.
I mean, everywhere we've gone this summer, we've seen vans and tents and tons of just informal settlements. It's happening.
Yeah. Here's the hopeful version. We had the same exact problem in the 1930s. They were the Hoovervilles. Hoover was the president during the Great Depression, the early part of the Depression before Roosevelt. He was there when the crash happened in '29. And people were living in tents, large numbers of people. And there was this huge gap between how much you could earn at a job and what it cost to find a place to live. We solved those problems. It took 20 years. It took Roosevelt's programs. It took the war. It took all these new programs to come in. And the programs that we have now, 30-year mortgages backed by the federal government, zero interest loans and all that, they were the solutions to the last set of problems that have now become the new problems. So it's time for new institutions. I don't know what they'll be, but they will come. Right?